Thursday, January 5th. Thursdays are probably our favorite day of the week on this show. The Fridays are the best shows, but Thursdays, to me, are the happiest time of the week. The best time when you haven't used up any of your weekend, not even your Friday yet, but you're heading right into it. So the spirits are high. Not a great sleep on my behalf, unfortunately. Had a disruption to what was a pretty good streak I had going. But anyway, we will make do. Zombie mode in full effect here, but I can do my best to get through it regardless.
What is up, everyone? What is up, Matt Frazier? What's
Very
up,
nice.
Mr. Jeffrey? What's up, Whole Health Experience? JGC 007, Vicky 28.
Wow.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Comes in, rips off some
coming in
names.
hot. It's Thursday, like you said. It's the best day of the week.
Yeah, and you've done it all at a reasonable volume. You haven't yelled or anything.
I know. That was very intentional. I've been practicing my entrance volume here.
Well, I much appreciated. I think the listeners will appreciate it as well. Just will make a better quality recording. Speaking of quality, I feel like my microphone is not always the right one, and it makes me so mad when I hear it that it's not. But it seems like it should be the right one. So if not, I apologize. What can I do?
We got some team members here. We
do
got
we?
Conrad. We got Juliana.
Good. My
Mr.
son
Jeffrey calling out my fresh cut. Man, it's a good
fresh
day.
cut. Okay, I see. I thought he was talking about like a video cut or like a hot take when he said fresh cut.
No, he's talking about my hairdo here.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll have to see what a plant-based space thinks if she shows up, since she is your hair fan. It seems.
It is a weird time in my life when people I've never met before are able to know exactly when I got a haircut and call that out. But I like it. I love it.
Yes, good. Me too. Lucy B is here as well. She's usually here in the Instagram, but she's actually watching over on YouTube, which is a good reminder. If you ever don't like the Instagram stream for whatever reason, or you want better quality or something's dropping out, you can always go over to Facebook or YouTube, find us there, or Twitch, or my actually I think the connection with my LinkedIn account has been disrupted somehow, and I haven't bothered to fix it because I think that has 0 views yet in its history of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you can always go watch other channels. You can always go watch other channels. You can contribute from there as well. We usually see the chats and things. So please do.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give a shout out to all of our podcast listeners. We've had our biggest 3 days of downloads ever the past 3 days, and and maybe it's New Year excitement, kind of people gearing up for whatever health stuff. I don't know if I'd come to this podcast for health advice, but
I would now. I'm turning over a new leaf. This is my healthy January. I'm not talking about vegan meats anymore. I'm against them. I'm no longer just abstaining. I'm now anti them. When I come across the articles, I roll my eyes and I imagine all those sorry saps who are eating these this terrible excuse for food.
Oh man, all right. So if anyone has listened to, there are people who are here today actually who've listened to every single episode of No Meat Athlete Radio. But if you were to follow our trajectory over the last 8 years of podcasting.
I think more than that.
We go through waves and some very clear waves of what we're into and what we're not into and what we'd like and dislike. And this is just a condensed version where just a couple weeks ago we were talking about all the vegan meats we were going to have around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and here we are, squared them off.
It's a new year, new me. I'm turning over a new leaf.
What'd you have for dinner last night?
Well, Aisha, the Whole Health Experience, is asking that same question. I had something from Doug's favorite book, Issa Does It. We were scrambling, just couldn't really hadn't planned a meal. I've been making a baked beans dish from Blue Zone's American Kitchen, but it's like a multi-day recipe because first you soak the beans, then they got to go 8 hours or overnight to be. So I never have gotten it long story short, we were still making that, and we started 2 days ago. So what we had was something we were scrambling for, and that was tofu over rice with a curry sauce sort of thing, and it has kale in it usually, but we use broccoli. I don't have the name of it, unfortunately. Maybe Erin, my wife, who made the meal, she might be able to pull that.
Sounds great. Anything from that book is a hit, and it's scrambling at the last minute. Ideas.
That is very true. Issa Does It is the book. If anyone is looking for a book like that, that's easy to do.
First of all, Jody Shuck, wait, they're out now?
No, they're not out. It's just my January challenge is that I'm going to not have any plant meats or fake meats during this January month, and that of course means no meat whatsoever. Right? I'm not switching to regular meat. I'm switching to vegetables and actual healthy food. So tofu is fine. We actually have an article to get into later today that is about meat swaps that aren't fake meat.
Fake meat, right?
So that'll be good. And tofu to me is totally acceptable. That is not a vegan meat, although it can make a pretty nice substitute. It's a health food, so I'm all good with that one.
I had green chili last night.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Which has become a recent staple this winter. It's a crock pot meal. Katie cooks it up. I don't actually know what all's in it, but it's delicious and simple. And we had. I threw it over a little bit of leftover pasta just to kind of bulk it up a little bit. And it's also an excuse to eat some corn chips. So I'm a fan.
I like it. So when you say eat corn chips, is it that it's like served on the side of your plate? It's just a big mound of corn chips?
You crumble them up and kind of...
You crumble it in.
Soak it in there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's not cooked in the crock pot in there, not like a tortilla soup.
No.
Okay. No. And what else is in this green? It sounds terrific. Green chili is something I never have, but I always order like the green Thai curry when I get Thai food. I always like green things. Do you put hominy in there? Like the white corn type stuff? Like they put in Posole?
I'm not even going to pretend to know because I have not cooked it. But
you would know if you put hominy in there. It's big white puffy corn things.
Oh, no, not hominy. No. Okay. A bunch of white beans. And then I think it's like a green chili, like a small potent thing of green chilies.
Yep.
And that's really all I'm gonna know. But I will find out, and we'll post the recipe.
Yeah, I would love to know. I'll give that a try for sure. Good. Okay. Well, Plant Powered Pantry says she had portobello mushroom cheesesteaks using marinated mushrooms and nacho cheese from Forks Over Knives with homemade hoagie rolls. So that's good. That's good. That's the kind of fake meat again that we're going to get into later today. That is not vegan processed meat, because that's the thing. It's the processing. That's what's keeping the mainstreamers, the normies, from wanting to have this plant-based meat, and it's even creeping into my consciousness a little bit. I don't know. It's just very processed. I swore off the whatever they are, tapioca, coconut oil, vegan cheeses a couple months ago. So I should have predicted that plant meats weren't far behind. But we'll see. We'll see how far it lasts. I'm only a few days into this.
Yeah. You know what? So I haven't had any vegan meat this year, not intentionally.
Okay.
It's only been 5 days, so it's not a big deal. But except just a few minutes ago, I went inside and realized I got some Beyond Meat jerky in my stocking.
Oh, nice.
I had to to kind of pump myself up, fuel myself up for the podcast here. Had a couple little bites of jerky.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. It was good.
Good. I like it. I usually opt for a banana or maybe a Lara bar to get myself ready for the show. But it's good to hear that beef jerky is a viable option as well beyond jerky.
Man, we got Mushroom Squad in the comments here. Team Mushroom is going strong.
Yeah, and hint, that might be one of the vegan meat swaps that are not meat. Okay, so last bit of report I have on my status. I had one of my terrible sleeps last night. I was awake from 3 until 5, and then maybe even a little longer. I did not have any alcohol yesterday. Well, I did have 2 non-alcoholic beers, including the 15-calorie blonde ale. I forget the name of the brand. I'll find out. It was a very good one. I like that even better than the 110-calorie Bravas Hazy IPA I had. So I didn't do that. And did my activity, all these things, and got to bed at a reasonable hour, but just not good. Slept in my pod, of course. So anyway, still, I've got some new theories. It drove me to do a little bit of research this morning, some more, and I've done this here and there, and I come up with a new idea. I have a new idea about what it is. I think maybe I'm going to bed too early. And then,
what time are you going to bed?
10. But I just think, and I always have.
What time do you wake up now that your daughter?
Well, if I can wake up normally, I wake up at 6.
6,
and that's good. But if I have a bad night, I don't get up till like 8:30 because I have this separated sleep.
I see. I don't think that the 10 to 6 is that early. Too early. Maybe 10:30 or something. But
yeah, it doesn't sound that early, right? It sounds natural, and you think when the sun goes down is when it's more like time to go to bed. I don't know. The thing that I was reading said if you go to bed before you're feeling tired, which is very often what I am doing. Especially when I don't have alcohol. So this is key here, Doug. I I think the alcohol helps me sort of feel like it's time to wind down at the time that everyone else is winding down. But if I don't have it, then I'm going to bed before I'm tired. And that's not a good thing. And so what it's saying is whatever I don't know, there's some chemical, adenosine maybe. It's like a tiredness sort of, I'm not going to get into it all. It's more than I understand and could convey in any few words. But the point is, it basically thinks that, or this theory would say that your body's wearing off its tired gene, tired hormone too fast. You're going through it, and that's a result of going to bed too early when you're not tired yet. So who knows? But I'm gonna mess with it a little bit and see what happens.
Whole Health Experience is suggesting magnesium or blue blocker glasses.
Yeah, and also she earlier suggested the pot. What's it? Instant Pot. So she's full of suggestions today. I appreciate it. I do have blue blocking glasses, which I never ever wear. But look, I can put them on for this show and be this kind of guy.
Very nice. I have some somewhere as well. I quit. I only pull them out if I'm like deep in a spreadsheet, a white spreadsheet that's like I'm gonna hang out in there for hours.
Right. Yeah, there's no dark mode for that kind of app, is there? Nighttime mode. Yeah. They make everything yellow, so I can't really wear them. It just
You also look like I don't know, Bono or somebody.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that update. Yeah, I thought I had something else, but who knows? Foggy head today. I do have, Doug, something of a weather report today. This is something we want to start doing on the show, which is knock the quick headlines out, the things that like are kind of newsworthy, worth knowing, worth touching on, but we're not going to jump into them just because there's no depth around them. So here's what I've got. Maybe one day we'll get a new weather person to come read the weather report. One person signs up for Veganuary every 2.4 seconds. This, according to The Beat. The idea there is not, I don't think it's that it's an average of this is how many people, signed up and what span they did it in. It's more that people are just keep signing up for Veganuary even as we get into the month. Because what I didn't realize, you actually go somewhere and sign up and you get free material sent to you as you make this commitment.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yes, and a new survey from Vitalite, which is a vegan cheese company, found that in the past, 42% of Americans, late-breaking update, 42% of Americans have made a resolution to eat more plant-based foods in their meals, but they did not stick to it. So the conclusion is that there's interest in plant-based diets. People want to do it, but the actual implementation, the actual execution, that's where people are failing. No big surprise.
So how many people made the resolution and then stuck to it?
We don't know. That is unknown.
Okay.
All he knows how many didn't.
Just for clarification, you might not know this. It's not 42% of the people who made the resolution doesn't stick to it.
No, the way I interpreted this was that 42% of Americans, Americans, have said, I'm going to eat more plant-based foods at a time. No clarity on whether this means I'm going to like the plant-based packaged food stuff, that sort of idea, or if it's just I'm going to add vegetables to my plate. I think it was probably the latter, because I can't imagine 42% of people saying they want more Beyond patties in their life.
Yeah, they just want more vegetables.
Yeah, and that's one of the probably the resolution as old as time is eat more vegetables. So perhaps I wish it was even more than that, but they did not stick to it, so it doesn't matter. But we do know Veganuary, and we can get into some stats later with a Veganuary article I have, that Veganuary people who do it, they tend 70% or something either stay vegan or half vegan or a quarter vegan. They kind of reduce there, but they all, or a very large amount of them, keep being mostly vegan, which is great. If it is to be believed. And then we got two fast food news, both in the UK. I don't tend to make these feature stories but there's so much news in the UK and in Europe, but I think so much of our audience is not in those countries. So it just it just makes people mad that we're not getting them. McDonald's has, for Veganuary, has rolled out a double McPlant burger, which has two Beyond patties, not one, but two of those Beyond patties. They also have the vegan cheese that they offer at McDonald's. And so, Doug, I think this was something you wished for a while ago. You had said you would like more burger and less bun. It was some sort of low carb kick day you were on. And
that was a 24-hour swing that I was having.
And then, not to be outdone, Burger King, the much smaller, it turns out, competitor to McDonald's, has rolled out across their 510 UK locations bacon cheeseburgers using vegan La Vie bacon. Which I don't know, but apparently they reached out. They took out a full-page newspaper ad or magazine ad with a picture, basically a Photoshop picture of their bacon on a Burger King, saying, "Wouldn't this be good?" And they went with it. And then Violette cheese is also on their menu now at all these locations. So you can get this bacon cheeseburger. You can get a double bacon cheeseburger. So that's their version of the double burger. And they even have my favorite chicken sandwich, which I had in Germany plenty. I forget what it was called. The long chicken. But here in the UK, it is called, not here, but in this in this article in the UK, it is called the McRoyale, I think, or the Royale, which sounds a lot like that old Quentin Tarantino movie. What was
Royale
that?
Royale with cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that. And I think that's what he actually says. That's the line in the movies, that they call it a Royale with cheese. So anyway, that is now available. You can get the bacon and the same old plant mayo and all that stuff on the chicken sandwich now, which sounds a little bit much to me. I think I'd prefer just the simpler chicken sandwich, but it's happening. No doubt about it. No arguing that especially in Europe, the plant-based meat substitutes and now cheese in the fast food industry is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm. All right. 2 questions came up in the comments here. One was from Mr. Jeffrey saying that he thought the McDonald's had their own patty and not the Beyond. I think in Europe, or at least in the UK, they are using the Beyond, but here they were testing out their own.
I think that's
if I remember correctly. And then who was it? Asked why the UK is so far ahead of us. Jody Shuck. Why is the UK so far ahead of us, Matt?
We've guessed about it before. I wonder if it has to do with political landscape. With countries over there, I don't actually know that much about political landscape at all. I just always have the sense that over there's universal health care and that kind of stuff, and just much more of kind of a liberal vibe to the culture than there is here, and that therefore these climate change, driven things like this have just taken off in a way that they haven't here. I don't know, just total theory, but for sure, there's a lot more going on in the UK and in Europe than it is here.
You know what I think it is?
What?
Plant-based News based out of the UK. I think that they're the drivers there.
Well, it's a good site. They're friends of ours. We pull a lot of information from them, and it's always good information. Who knows? Maybe they are behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Jeffrey hypothesized population density. I could definitely be part of it. I don't know. It's pretty wild though. None of the fast food vegan meats, of course, but they seem just very much further ahead of us on veganism in general. Veganuary is based out of the UK. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that. I came across that information today, actually.
Oh, you know what? I did too. Probably we read the same article. So
crazy how that works when we're preparing for the same show. I'm trying to confirm here about the Beyond patty. It's co-developed with Beyond Meat, the McDonald's plant-based burger.
Yeah, I double checked it.
Okay, good. All right, so that is your weather report for the day. Hopefully, we'll dial those in a little bit more. But I like the idea of knocking out some of the things like that don't need big discussions, but just kind of cover what's the ins and outs of what's going on. In longer form news, this is not a really new story, but we around Christmas we shut down. I think it was like the 23rd or something. This article came out the 22nd, and I missed it because we were in full on Christmas mode at that point. If it was not a Christmas story, we were not talking about it.
It was not another gift guide. Gift guide number 18.
It wasn't a gift guide. It didn't register for me. But we talked earlier than that about James Cameron, how he had attended on this tour for Avatar 2. He'd attended a dolphin show, and it was a weird thing. And he'd even had this quote that was confusing that Plant-Based News had first reported, at least where I first saw it. And he said at the end of it, he said, "I love these animals. I love their intelligence. I love their sociability, their ability to connect with us and to interact with us and learn from us. And I'm sure everybody asked their permission to be in the show," which is a very weird thing because that's exactly what everybody was. I mean, that's the root of the problem, right? Is that these animals don't have a choice of whether or not they're in this show. So he said something like that. I think now, based on his explanation, which is the news story today, he has responded to that. And he has said that it was basically, whirlwind media tour where he was doing 20 interviews a day. This one popped up and he thought that it was, he assumed, and this is kind of my problem with it, to make this assumption. He said, "I was visualizing something like the Monterey Bay Aquarium with its great science and conservation programs. There was zero mention of a dolphin show." So, he thought he was going to something that, while still involving animal captivity, at least was something, as we've kind of talked about before when we've discussed zoos, at least has this sort of merit to it, right? Even if you can argue about whether it's ethical or not, it at least is educating people or preserving animals or whatever. But it wasn't anything like that. It was a dolphin show, and he found out, I guess, as they were walking on stage, he realized it, and he said we were already out in the lights and fans were cheering. So he was at this point where he didn't want to create a big public scene and just stop everything. Although he's saying in retrospect, maybe he should have. So interesting. I can sort of sympathize with that. I think that actually sounds like a very reasonable sequence of events. It's hard to say if that's true or not. It definitely fits, what was my view of him before this. So I tend to believe this.
Yeah, I believe it too. I imagine that, this is a $1.5 billion film that in the first couple weeks here, and I cannot imagine that he is involved in all of the different interviews and things that are happening and everything is going. He probably is completely removed from that entirely and just shows up and does his little spiel and then moves on. I can understand how this would happen. Like he's questioning, should he have done something different? Should he have said something, that's more in line with what he believes? Maybe, but I could see myself not doing that too if I got swept up in a situation like this, and then maybe regarding it in the end. But yeah, I don't know. I guess he's uncanceled. I don't know that we canceled him, but I would uncancel him.
We didn't cancel him. I said I would, if I was interested at all in Avatar 2, I'd still go watch it, and I would even still be friends with James Cameron if I were friends with him. So I wasn't canceling him. I just said it makes it hard for me to look up to him now as a leader, someone who's making up names for our diet and calling it Futurevore, which before I was all in on. But if he's going to be attending dolphin shows, it was harder to get behind the Futurevore brand. So anyway, yeah, I'm with you here, Doug. Like, I think there are a lot of situations where in the moment something happens and then later we wish we would have behaved differently. I'm not going to fault him for that, right? I guess, maybe a truly great leader, person, whatever, can make that decision in the moment and make exactly the one that's in line with their values. But I've certainly in the past done this sort of thing where later you say, I wish I would have done this thing in that moment instead of this. Sure. But the planning for sure. And you can imagine that mistake happening as well. If someone else set it up for him, just never made the connection between these animals. And I think a lot of people don't make the connection between dolphin shows and things like that and animal cruelty. Would be very easy to make. One final bit here. He said that he was seething about the situation while on stage. And apparently, I'm not finding it this second, but that the thing he said afterwards, this thing in an interview about how, how I'm sure everybody was asked their permission. Apparently, that was a sort of a sarcastic remark, and I haven't heard the audio of it. But he was saying that in very angrily, in a sarcastic way. But I guess you got to figure out that once stuff is printed in text, you lose that effect.
Yep. Nothing more to say there, except I think, I mean, I could see how this would happen, and I'm okay with them.
Are the girls interested in seeing Avatar 2, Doug?
I've never heard of Avatar 1 or 2. Probably a little bit too young for Avatar. Okay. But I would see it. I quite liked the first one. Yeah. I hardly remember what happened in it, but so many years ago.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you see it in IMAX situation or 3D?
No, back then it would have been, I think, just regular theater. Definitely saw it in a theater.
It was one of those movies, I think, that was like during the little 3D boom that happened where you could go see the 3D versions of things. Maybe that's still happening, but I don't hear about that much anymore. All right, so that's James Cameron. Figured it'd be fair to give him a chance to respond, which we've now done. All right, next one is back to Veganuary with one more. I don't want to keep talking about Veganuary all month long, but I do, like you said, there are more people coming to these things and downloading podcasts. So I've got to imagine there's some people who are trying this diet out and are finding this show as a result. This one is Veganuary 2023, what it is and how you can get involved. And it's from Veg News from Charlotte Pointing, whose articles I usually like a lot. They said, let's see, the little history of it. I didn't understand all of this stuff, but apparently they started in 2013. It was just a couple people, a British couple, and they placed a bet. They got 3,000 people to join. They had thought it would only be 100 or 1,000. And now in last year, it was 630,000 people. So it's grown exponentially since then. I'm actually surprised. That number is a little bit low, given how much we talk about it and how much I see it mentioned in even mainstream news sources. Let's say it doubled. Well, it didn't double, because from 2020 it was 400,000. So in 2 years it gained about 50%. So if you figure this year it's at maybe 800 or something like that, it's nearing 1 million, which is good. But that's a tiny amount, right? Because it's not just a U.S. thing; it's the world, and certainly not all the world is going to have access to this internet or whatever materials you need, or even vegan food. But still, that's a tiny fraction. That's like smaller than the 2% of Americans who claim.
But how many people do you think are signing up versus just saying they're doing Veganuary, right? Just like they're dry December or dry January or whatever. I mean, like, people are just doing it and not signing up for it.
I bet 1 out of 10 are actually signing up. Mm-hmm. Right, many more, I would guess, are just saying they're doing Veganuary. So that's a good point. It's perhaps much bigger than those numbers make it seem. So you can go to the website. I don't know the URL, but you go to Veganuary, you opt in, and you get a bunch of stuff, including some celebrity things like a cookbook with exclusive recipes from Venus Williams, Joanna Lumley, Alicia Silverstone, Maya, and Jane Goodall, and the official Veganuary starter kit. So these are all free resources that you get via email. And then they've got those cards and things you can actually go buy. So that's what it is. Then it gets into the part that I struggle with here. They get into, this is a guide to Veganuary, right? So I guess some of it is having some information about it. Background is a nice part of any guide, but the real substance to a guide like this is how do you actually make Veganuary work? And I don't think I could think of worse meals to suggest to someone who's trying out Veganuary than the ones that they picked here. Here's just listed. Jamaican vegan curry is fine, right? That's not so bad. Even that is a dish that is extremely unfamiliar to someone trying Veganuary, I have to imagine. So it looks like it's sort of a lentils, I don't know, coconut milk dish, vegetables, maybe not lentils. So that's okay. Then sweet potato kidney bean enchiladas. Now maybe in Doug's house people are well versed in making enchiladas, but in my house that's a production. Having to do whatever you need to do with the corn tortillas to get them wrapped around the food and then bake it. That's a mess, a giant mess waiting to happen.
Enchiladas are a 45-minute max meal to prep and get in the oven. We're fans of enchiladas in my house, and it's not a big deal.
Well, not for you though. Like I said, but you eat literally 100% Mexican food, so I'm not surprised it's not a big deal in your house. I just think that's an odd suggestion for someone who might be in their first week of eating a vegan diet. We tell them, here, make these enchiladas. I'm not saying it wouldn't turn out well, and actually that one would have a nice payoff if it does. You'd say, wow, I didn't know you could make this kind of stuff at home.
Good point.
That's some work though. And it's sweet potato and kidney bean. I'm just not a sweet potato guy. Next, vegan pumpkin cream penne. This doesn't seem too hard. Pumpkin puree cream. It's getting into a little bit of the weird vegan ingredient. For me, I would just say find some simpler sort of cheese sauce you could make. Or even good old jarred red tomato sauce. Then vegan Thai-inspired sweet potato noodles. So here we are now at the point where we're swapping noodles out for vegetable noodles, which doesn't need to happen, right? You can just use. I think they even make noodles that are Thai noodles that are made from sweet potatoes, right? Or from bean threads. I mean, you can get this stuff made dried that doesn't involve you using a spiralizer, which you don't have. Reminder. And spiralizing stuff to make noodles.
Everybody has a spiralizer, right?
Yeah, right. Then beefy vegan beet burger. So here's where I'd say swap in the Beyond Burger and get a taste of that, because that's what people do when they try being vegan for a while, and then you later get off of that stuff. Then vegan cheesy roasted garlic bread. Now we're in the sides. Stuffed vegan chili cheese dog bites. Sounds like a lot of work. Vegan Hasselback potatoes with cheese sauce. I guess this one, they say it's easy to make, so I'm okay with that.
It even has hassle in the name.
Yeah, you're right. Hasselback. I don't know what that.
What is a Hasselback potato? I don't even know what that is.
I know Matt Hasselbeck, the quarterback, old quarterback.
Is that Tim a type Hasselbeck, of tomato? Brother. Is that a type of potato?
I think so. Yeah, Hasselback potatoes are about to be the new star of all your winter meals. And then finally, my favorite. Well, not finally, but my favorite: sticky vegan Coca-Cola cauliflower wings. So just
no. Hold on. Hasselback potatoes are like sliced potatoes.
Okay. I see they have interesting slices on
like
the picture.
What do you call it? Like accordion potatoes.
Yeah. Is that called scallop potatoes? Maybe I think scallops.
Scallop potatoes. Oh no, scallops are like, I don't know. It's called a Hasselback.
Okay. All right. That doesn't seem too much work. It sounds like you obviously need to. Well, I don't know. I think Hasselback potatoes are about to become the new. Yeah, you cut halfway through into thin fan-like slices, and that's the potatoes. You take a regular baked potato and you make it Hasselback style like that. Fine.
Just slice down the back is what Whole Health Experience says.
Okay. So now you're doing level 10 vegan recipes that no vegan even knows what it is on your January week, first week of January. And then, as I said before, now twice I've tried to get this across because it's a climactic thing. Sticky vegan Coca-Cola cauliflower wings. Just typical sort of everyday weeknight meal you might put together. Get a bottle of Coca-Cola, some cauliflower, bread the cauliflower in the breading, somehow in a pan, then fry it all up. Just good first way to ease into being a vegan. And then number 10.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't sound good. It does sound good if you are out at a restaurant and they make it for you, or it's a weekend and you've been vegan for 15 years and you're ready to just get a little adventurous. And then finally, easy vegan Rocky Road fudge. Fine, I guess it's if you really want desserts, then it'd be nice to know that you could make a vegan one. That would teach somebody a nice lesson.
No, that's not the end. There's gluten-free pie. There's creme brulee. There's mushroom popsicles. I mean, these are some next level recipes.
Right.
Here.
I mean, remember, you can go to the store and buy fruit popsicles that are vegan, and you don't need to make them from coconut cream. I guess most of these other vegan desserts you'd have to make if you wanted to have caramelly Bonafide pie. It just doesn't make sense for Veganuary at all.
When was the last time you made a dessert? Like homemade a dessert? And I would like listeners, anyone in the comments, like how frequently do you make desserts? We made one for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I don't know. I make an orange cake every now and then, but it's not for dessert. I have it in the daytime. I made beignets on shortly after my birthday, but that's a morning thing. Yeah. We just don't make dessert.
Yeah.
I'll say never. We never make dessert.
Not even at Thanksgiving, no pies?
Erin makes pies and things like that. Yeah. She handles holiday sweets for us. I'm just never involved. But on a non-holiday, we just don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same.
If we want dessert, we'll have a dark chocolate bar in the pantry, and everyone will get a little square of it or something, and have that. And that will be dessert.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of nevers once a month, only on holidays.
Okay. Well, it's good then. If you need 5 recipes, you've got them here for your Veganuary month. Anyway, it's always fun to do a little Veg News bash session on one of your articles. Because they're the king. They're the top dog in this thing. And I feel like you can just throw rocks at them. It doesn't matter. We use their articles all the time. We like them. We're friends with the people over there. As I said, I like Charlotte Pointing's articles almost always. So I like all the articles almost always. But I just don't know. And I'm guessing this is no one person assembled these recipes. It's probably just a bunch of people. But whatever. Just having some fun.
But we're about to move on to another Veg News article here.
Yes, we are. And
this is your alley and right up my alley too because of one of the suggestions.
Yes, that's right. So this is 7 meaty swaps for meat that aren't vegan meat, which is good. That exactly matches my January challenge that I'm on here of not eating any vegan meats, except perhaps if I travel and, just convenience requires it. So they just list a few 7 different options here. Let's go through them really quickly, Doug. If there's any reason to mention or stop, we will. Tempeh, number 1. They didn't say this is an ordered list. Tempeh's a tough one. A lot of people don't like tempeh, and it's easy not to like it. It's easy to cook it in a way that makes it sort of highlights its worst parts, which is the bitterness and the texture sometimes. But in other times, it can be really good when it's done with any effort, which is not usually us. I don't know. I don't hate tempeh. It's just not ever my favorite choice of things.
We eat quite a bit of tempeh. That's a common lunch item for us. We get tempeh that is like seasoned. I wish I knew what the name of it was. I think it might be a local one, so you might remember.
Yes, I do know that one. Is it Smiling Hara?
Smiling Hara, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's like wrapped in a bunch of peppers and like crunch pepper. And it's just so good. You don't need to marinate it. You don't. It has so much more flavor than like just your typical block of tempeh. That's just more of a blank slate.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah, that's true. I've had the Smiling Heart. Even they're like very plain one, and it's just much better than the I guess mass produced versions that you buy in a grocery store. It just had a deeper flavor. I don't know what it would be. Maybe the fermentation is sort of done in a more complete fashion. It just tasted richer and better. But anyway, it's a good healthy food. Probably healthier than tofu, at least in like Michael Greger's eyes, for example. Not that tofu is unhealthy at all. It's very healthy in my opinion and in his. But tempeh is closer to a whole food. That's why you can see the whole beans in there. Plus, you get this fermentation benefit. So it's good. Plant Powered Pantry points out that the key to tempeh is to steam it for 10 minutes before marinating or cooking. And that is very true. That's how you eliminate that bitter flavor. It's only a small little step. But you do that first. But then for me, it's like I've had blackened tempeh in different dishes, and that's pretty good. I remember Scott Jurek had a tempeh dish where it was like seared tempeh over, just kale and rice kind of deal. But something about the way it was seared, I think there was soy sauce involved. You have to do something to it. If you just try to eat like just plain steamed tempeh, I don't know, it's just not very interesting. There's a good recipe in the.
I mean, that's kind of like tofu, though. I mean, you got to marinate it. You got to put it in the sauce.
That's a good point. I don't know why tempeh seems harder, but that is a fair point. I have a tempeh. Like a tuna salad mock sort of thing in the first No Meat Athlete book, not the No Meat Athlete cookbook, but just No Meat Athlete. I actually like reverse engineered this tempeh salad that they had at the French Broad Food Co-op, Doug, which you will know, of course. Yes. And it was delicious. So I kind of just figured it out and put the recipe in the book. So that is one of my favorite ways to use tempeh, but we just don't do it very much. The other way is the Engine 2 barbecue tempeh tacos, where you just put the tempeh crumbled into a pan. You add some soy sauce, let it saute for a minute, and then add some barbecue sauce, and that is it. Then you put it in tacos, and it's good.
Sounds like my type of meal, right?
It sure does. Yeah, exactly. Number 2, jackfruit, which is to me like when I think jackfruit, I think pork barbecue substitute. Like that's what it is. It has a very similar texture to that because the way it sort of, I guess I don't know if it shreds, but something about the way it comes out. Yeah, it just seems like that texture. The reason I don't really like it, it always leaves me feeling like I just didn't really eat any food when I ate it, because I think it's mostly water. It's a fruit, right? So it's not like it's a starchy bean kind of thing. I don't know. It just doesn't have like a ton of flavor. Obviously, you can cook it in barbecue sauce or add some sort of fat, and then you'll get some more calories in there. But it just always leaves me kind of feeling like unsatisfied. So it's not my favorite choice, but I'm definitely open to finding one that works. By the way, they do give a recipe under each one that is their suggested recipe here. Miso mustard tempeh was their tempeh one, and for jackfruit, they've got, no surprise, smoky vegan barbecue pulled jackfruit sliders.
I have never gotten on the jackfruit train. I've had it several times. Like it's the option at a lot of places, but I've just never. I've never like. It's never been one of those things like, oh man, I can't wait to try this jackfruit sandwich.
Yeah. Yep. 100% agree. All right, then we got tofu. No surprise here. Tofu is age-old vegan meat substitute, and I have tofu more than I used to, for sure. I think we probably have it more than once a week these days, and I always feel good about it when we do. I feel good about what I'm eating. I feel good about the kids eating it. I am not at all afraid of soy or tofu, and I really consider it to be a healthy food. For that one, spicy oven-fried tofu is their choice. Number 4, beans. Not a whole lot to add here. The thing with beans is you always need to, process them, for lack of a better word, not to make them less healthy. It just takes work to turn beans into a good meat substitute. I'm sure I'm missing some obvious exceptions to that. But like I've done this in the early days of being vegetarian and vegan. I've done the thing where you put them in the processor with other things, and then you form them into like patties, and then you bread it and you make it like a chicken patty, whatever. I've done all that. And it's just okay. It's fine. It's just not worth it. So I just don't think of them as a meat substitute. They're a great center of a meal,
right? And a good source of protein.
Yeah, like meat, right. So they work like meat. And I guess in fairness, a lot of times what I would do is, for example, have a regular old red sauce, and then I'll just put beans in there, and suddenly feels like a complete kind of meal. So I guess that's what someone might do with ground beef and feel exactly the same way. So in that way, it is a meat substitute.
But it doesn't taste like meat. It doesn't have the fat like meat. It doesn't.
Right. It's just
all the.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's doing the same purpose, but it's not seeming like meat at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Seitan is a really good one. That's number 5. For me, that's probably as far as like everyday vegan meat substitutes. If you're going to make something at home, Seitan to me is as close as you can get to the texture with as little work as possible. Doug, I don't think you eat a lot of seitan in your house, do you?
Do not. But no. I don't like it. I mean, there's no reason except we just don't choose it. Yeah.
We choose it a lot. I don't think it's a very healthy food. It's one of the least healthy foods in our diet, in my opinion.
Why is that? Because it's wheat gluten?
It's not 100%, but it is a very high percentage wheat gluten, which as far as protein digestibility score, it is not a good one. So it looks like you're getting 25 grams of protein in your meal, but you're probably getting more like 15 grams that your body actually uses. I don't know. I don't really worry about the gluten stuff at all. But when so many people are against it, I just think like I shouldn't probably have three of my meals per week based on gluten type stuff like that. So I don't know. And that's really, when I talk about myself swearing off vegan meats, this is what I'm swearing off is the seitan sausages. Really? Yeah. Like that's what we have. We'll buy the tofurkey sausages, which have some seitan, some tofu, or not the Beyond, but like the field roast, right? These things are mostly seitan. And I think of them as healthier choices than the Beyond stuff or than the Impossible, but it's still just, I don't know. It's kind of processed food. So that's what I'm swearing off.
Do you ever get just like unflavored seitan, just like a chunk of seitan? Not flavored, but like.
Yeah, we get that sometimes. It's often called like chicken flavor, where it has like just a tiny bit of seasoning on it. But in Whole Foods, you used to be able to get just like a pack of shredded seitan, and you can't really get that anymore. So you can make it at home. It's not hard at all.
I guess the No Evil chicken, that's seitan, right? We used to get that.
Yeah. And that's pretty close to plain seitan. There might be a little bit of chicken seasonings on there. And the recipe here is vegan white bean and seitan pozole, which I actually think I've had before. It's Posole Verde, which is why when you brought up chili verde, I was wondering if you put hominy in there. I feel like I've had this dish before. It even has hominy in it, so there's a very good chance I've made this one before. These are good. There are suggestions for meals here. I really like these, much better than the other Veg News article. These seem like very good, delicious things. This one I'm excited about, and I know you are too, Doug. Different reasons here. Number 6 is mushrooms. You have proclaimed 2023 the year of the mushroom. A couple people have backed you up on that outrageous claim, and they're just singing the praises of mushrooms, like you and your little band of
mushroom misfits.
Yeah. They mentioned
band of shroomies.
Yeah. We're gonna have a new little acronym for them. That group. King oyster mushrooms, they mentioned, in particular, have a soft, meaty texture, and they're rich in fiber and protein, as well as vitamins and minerals. I think that means the stems of the king oyster mushrooms. That's what people slice up into scallop-like things. I've had that in restaurants, but I don't think ever at home. But this new Super G Mart that I have near me has them. And this is why I'm very excited about the attached recipe they give, which is tangy vegan grilled king oyster mushroom skewers, which really sounds delicious and perfect way to use those king oyster mushrooms. So I'm going to do that soon.
I'm going to make this recipe. It looks delicious.
So? Do you have access to these king oyster mushrooms?
I don't know. I'm going to try to find them.
I mean, you can always substitute some other portobello or something. Yeah, Whole Foods has them sometimes.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a hunt. I'm gonna go on a hunt for these. I'm gonna try to do it this weekend. Grill up. I haven't grilled in a while. This will be perfect.
All right. Maybe I will too. And on Monday we'll come in and compare king mushroom stories. All right. Any more? They talk a bit more about other mushrooms. Sorry, I lost the page here. You still have it up, Doug?
Portobello, lion's mane, and chicken of the woods are a few more examples of meaty mushrooms. In fact, the latter gets the name of its texture because of its texture and flavor, which is very similar to chicken. Yeah,
there you go. So good mushrooms. I never find lion's mane. I actually didn't realize they were sort of meaty. I thought that was like strictly for making tea out of or little decorating things to get this health benefit, whatever it is from lion's mane. But I'd be curious to try if I could find them. And then finally, number 7, cauliflower, which we saw in the previous article in the Veganuary guide was used for the sticky vegan Coca-Cola cauliflower wings. But they say that it might seem unlikely, but when prepared and cooked in the right way, cauliflower can resemble meat. When it's ground up with walnuts and spices, for example, it can form a tasty taco meat, Doug. That will be of interest to you. That tastes just like ground beef. And of course, there's also the classic breading it and then making cauliflower wings out of it, which I've done a few times in that book, The America's Test Kitchen Vegan for Everyone book. They have a really good recipe that involves, I think, some coconut shreds even in those wings. And it's really delicious. So it's a lot of work, though. That's the thing. I don't do that very often just because it takes some work. But it can be done in an air fryer and probably other ways, too. And of
fried
course,
cauliflower. Fried cauliflower is one of my very favorite things to eat. I get it so rarely because I would never fry anything in my house. But, man, it is so good. It's just so good.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah, it has an interesting savoriness that you would not expect to come from cauliflower. It seems like it'd be kind of a boring, like the carrot dog. Like who really wants that? But it's not that at all. The cauliflower, once it's roasted, really has a rich flavor and it works very nicely in those wings. So Veg News' article for this one, or sorry, their attached recipe is their vegan everything buffalo cauliflower bites. So there you have it. They used everything bagel seasoning on that one. Big trend.
Nice.
Trending. All right, let's see. Aisha has a couple things. She says mushrooms are huge in the coffee replacement industry. Yep, I've seen that a lot. And she had lion's mane in her latte 3 times last week. Interesting.
Jeffrey Hudnall makes a suggestion I go to Asheville Tailgate Market for some of the mushrooms. Great tip. Never gotten mushrooms there. Great idea. Yeah.
And Dale Stevens says cauliflower rocks, and she says she loves walnut meat. So there you go. A couple votes for cauliflower.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show, Doug.
No, it does not. I got 2 more things.
Oh, we forgot all about the giveaway. We're going to tease this.
I know. We should have teased the giveaway at the beginning. That was a huge mistake.
Yep. Amateur by us.
Maybe should we even wait till tomorrow to do it? Or should we just go ahead and...
Why don't we announce it today, and then we'll remind tomorrow, and then we'll...
Okay. We'll extend it for 48 hours.
Oh, except, you know what?
So,
but then, well...
You can go to either show. Today or tomorrow's show. Oh, that's right.
And we'll just pick a winner. We'll pick a winner on Monday. We'll say the winner on Monday.
All right. Here's how you enter. We're giving away 2 bags of complement protein.
2 winners or 1 bag
for 2 different winners.
Okay. Yep.
Sure, right? Yeah,
1 bag for 2 winners. Yeah.
1 bag each for 2 different winners. All you have to do is go to today's show once it's posted to the Plant-Based Morning Show feed and leave a comment about what you had for dinner last night. We're going to extend it 48 hours, an extra day, so you can do it. Go to tomorrow's show too and leave a comment. And you get a bonus entry if you share it on your feed or your stories and tag us in it. And then we'll pick a winner on Monday. We do ship to Canada, Mr. Jeffrey, but I'd say North America entrance only. How about that?
Okay. So you got to go to Plant-Based Morning Show Instagram account, right? It's just Plant-Based Morning Show, but Plant-Based Morning Show. Find it on Instagram. We post the show every day up there. As soon as it's done, go comment on today's post or tomorrow's post where it's, the show. And you can win one of those bags of chocolate complement protein. They have to say what they had for dinner last night, Doug, or can they just say, love the show, boys?
Yeah, you can say that. Whatever you want to do. Just leave us a comment. Get an extra entry if you share and tag us. You have to tag us so we know you shared it. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be giving away a lot of stuff this year. This is the year of giveaways. We got to get better at figuring out how to do them, but get year giveaways.
Year giveaways. All right, good. Sounds good.
And then I got
that giveaways would just fit into the plan, the big year of the show. But
that
year giveaways.
I got a downward facing duck to go out on here.
Oh, okay, good. Wow, surprise.
We're promoting Burger King's big 12 days of deals or whatever for around Christmas. They have the Impossible Whopper as one of them. I got the app.
Right.
Of course, my local Burger King happened to be offline that day. I don't know, after we gave them all this free promotion.
Prompting you to wear a foil hat the next day, tinfoil hat.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, I haven't unsubscribed to their emails yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I just got an email in the middle of the show that said BK Stackers are back, and they are promoting a Whopper with 4 patties, 4 slices of cheese, and bacon on it. And that is my battle facing Doug. This is the problem with America right now. This is the problem with the world right now. I'm okay with a double patty. That's great, but 4 patties and 4 slices of cheese is too much for me.
Yeah, you're right. Who wants something like that? Other than as just a joke, like to show that you did that or say you did that. Do people really want to eat a burger with 4 patties on it? Like, does it make it better?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, I would imagine they're not doing that in the UK Burger King, because that's where they're suddenly have this new plant-based vegan stuff, which is probably not that much healthier, honestly, but at least it's not 4 of them and 4 slices of cheese. So yeah, you're right. That is a problem.
They're calling it a win-win-win-win.
Wow. Okay. A quadruple win.
A quadruple win.
Patty is a win.
Your quadruple stacker. Oh man. Anyway, that's my downward facing.
You need to get yourself off that email list, Doug. You need to delete that app from your phone, which I and anyone else sensible did as soon as they got their Whopper.
I kept waiting for like another impossible deal or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right, Royal Perks member, right? That's what you are.
That's right. You know it. Okay. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great night or a great morning, day, whatever it is. Matt, it was wonderful to speak to you as always.
Yeah, you too, Doug. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We will talk to you.
Leave us a comment. Win that protein.
Oh, yeah. Win that protein. All right. We're out.